If you've been waiting for Apple to bring something fresh to the iPhone color game, the latest leak about the iPhone 17 Air might leave you a bit underwhelmed or slightly impressed, depending on your taste, according to new renders and insider info shared by the well-known leaker Majin Buu. The iPhone 17 Air could launch in just 4 colors: black, silver, light gold, and a new light blue. Now, while black and silver are staples and not exactly jaw-dropping, the real highlight here is the light blue option, which Apple reportedly hasn't done before in this exact shade. It's being described as so subtle that it might look silver or even white in certain lighting, drawing comparisons to the sky blue of the MacBook Air M4. The leak also notes that this soft blue might become Apple's star color in marketing for the iPhone 17 Air, just like midnight green was for the iPhone 11 Pro and Sierra blue for the 13 Pro. The rest of the palette feels more subdued, with silver being bright and clear, light gold offering a warm but not too bold vibe, and black staying as understated as ever. That said, if this leak turns out to be true, and given Majin Buu's solid track record, it probably will. Apple could be accused of following in Samsung's footsteps a little too closely. You see, Samsung's Galaxy S5 Edge launched with its own trio of muted finishes: titanium jet black, titanium silver, and titanium icy blue. And people have pointed out how hard it is to even tell the silver from the icy blue in real life unless you're under perfect lighting. If Apple's new light blue suffers the same fate, fans might end up disappointed by how conservative these color choices are. What's interesting, though, is how Apple is splitting its color strategy across its lineup. While the Air model might get these soft, modern hues, the regular iPhone 17 is rumored to bring back boldness with brighter shades like a vivid purple, continuing the more playful approach we saw with the base iPhone 16 models. So, you're kind of left wondering, why is Apple playing it so safe with the iPhone 17 Air, especially when it's rumored to be the super slim, premium design-focused iPhone in the series? You'd think a phone that emphasizes sleek design would go bolder with color too. Still, some users may appreciate the toned-down aesthetic, especially those who prefer minimalist vibes over flashy finishes. And while the leak doesn't confirm whether these 4 colors will be the only options, it's not uncommon for Apple to release additional limited edition colors later in the product cycle. So who knows, maybe a product red or some spring color refresh could shake things up in 2026. But right now, it feels like Apple's aiming to please the same crowd that loved the MacBook Air's more mature tones rather than those looking for what happens when 2 of the world's most powerful smartphones start heading in completely opposite directions. That's the big story unfolding around Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max and Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra. For years, these 2 flagships have followed a similar playbook: big displays, top-tier cameras, premium build quality, and nearly identical sizes. But now, a new wave of leaks suggests the rivalry is about to get more interesting, with each company making a bold move that reflects very different priorities. According to early reports, Apple is going all in on making the iPhone 17 Pro Max thicker than before, up to 8.76mm thick. That's noticeably chunkier than the current iPhone 16 Pro Max, and much heavier too. Meanwhile, Samsung is going in the exact opposite direction. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to drop into the 7mm range, shaving off size and becoming noticeably lighter than its predecessor. This shift highlights how differently the 2 companies are thinking about what users actually want in a high-end phone. Apple seems to be betting that people care more about battery life and thermal management than having an ultra-thin device. A thicker phone can make room for a larger battery and better cooling. Great news for people who do a lot of gaming, photo editing, or video recording. Samsung, however, is continuing its push towards sleeker, more elegant devices. Some insiders even suggest the Galaxy S26 Ultra might ditch the built-in S Pen digitizer, a defining feature of the Ultra series, just to save space and make the device slimmer. It's a risky move, but not out of character, especially since Samsung is already taking a similar approach with the upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 7. These decisions reflect two very different visions of what a premium smartphone should be. Apple is doubling down on practicality and entrance, while Samsung is focusing on aesthetics and portability. For people who are deciding between the two, the difference might be more noticeable than ever before, especially if you're switching from one brand to the other. Right now, the current flagships are almost identical in size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Galaxy S5 Ultra both measure roughly 163 millimeters in height, 77.6 millimeters in width, and 8.3 millimeters in thickness. The iPhone weighs 227 grams, while the Galaxy S25 Ultra is just a bit lighter at 218 grams. But by next year, these similarities might vanish completely. A lighter Galaxy S26 Ultra could feel easier to handle. What if the next iPhone and Galaxy phone no longer felt like two versions of the same device? That question is starting to make sense now because Apple and Samsung are finally moving in different directions, not just with software, but with how they build their hardware. For years, whenever Apple made a change, Samsung followed with something similar, and the same happened the other way around. Their flagship smartphones always had powerful processors, great cameras, and slim designs. But according to some reliable reports, things are about to change, and for good reason. This time, both companies are taking opposite roads when it comes to one important detail: how thin their phones are and how much battery they offer. Let's start with Apple. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is rumored to come with a larger battery, finally, reaching 5,000 mAh. That's a big step up from the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it also means Apple has to increase the thickness of the device. According to the leaks, the iPhone 17 Pro Max will be around 8.76 millimeters thick, which is even more than the current model's 8.25 millimeters. Instead of squeezing everything into a slim shell, Apple seems to be saying that battery life matters more than a thinner phone. And honestly, that might be exactly what many users have been asking for: a phone that can last longer in your hand, without needing a charge every few hours. Now let's talk about Samsung. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is rumored to go in the opposite direction. Instead of getting thicker, it's getting even slimmer, possibly less than 8 millimeters, but still slightly more than 7 millimeters. That's impressively thin, especially if Samsung manages to pack a 5,000 mAh battery inside it as well. If that rumor is true, then Samsung may finally be using denser battery technology. This means they're not increasing the battery size physically, but using better materials and tech to fit more power into a smaller space. That's smart engineering, but it also shows that Samsung is still focused on keeping their phones as thin and sleek as possible. This is where the difference really starts to show. Apple is clearly more focused on giving users longer battery life, even if that means a slightly heavier and thicker phone. Samsung, on the other hand, is staying true to its design-first mindset, offering a modern, slim phone that still performs well. And for users, this difference is important. If you want a light and thin smartphone, the Galaxy S26 Ultra might be the better choice. But if you want a device that gives you more time between charges, then the iPhone 17 Pro Max is likely to meet your needs better. Interestingly,